Hello and welcome to SSA Spotlight, where we bring you news from across financial services. First, the global financial markets. As we know, the markets have been volatile, jolted first by fears of a trade war and then tempered by a temporary reprieve. A sharp rally followed the US decision to pause new tariffs for 3 months on nations open to negotiation, reversing earlier losses sparked by tariff announcements in early April. While this move offered a moment of calm, uncertainty remains. Tariffs on China are still in place and are likely to raise prices in the US, complicating efforts to control inflation without stifling growth. Andrew Summers, Chief Investment Officer at Omnis, says although a full-blown trade war has been avoided for now, economies in the UK and Europe, which were only just beginning to recover, now risk losing momentum. Turning our spotlight to the UK taxpayer. More than 8 million UK workers are set to move into higher tax brackets by the end of the decade due to the ongoing freeze on income tax thresholds. This phenomenon, known as fiscal drag, quietly increases tax bills as wages rise but thresholds stay static. Despite assurances that tax rates would not increase, the freeze has had a similar effect. The Office for Budget Responsibility expects real household incomes to grow by just 0.5% annually from 2025 to 2030, with a sharp slowdown from the mid of the decade. This is largely due to sluggish wage growth as companies attempt to recover margins and absorb higher national insurance costs. Now let's move our spotlight to the state retirement age. The state retirement age will begin rising from 66 to 67 starting in May 2026, with full implementation by 2028. This change affects those born between March 61 and April 77. Another increase to 68 is planned in around 15 years' time, and a broader review is expected before the decade ends. Last up, we turn our spotlight to the UK housing. UK buyers scrambled to complete purchases in March before new stamp duty thresholds took effect. Completion surged by half, the steepest monthly rise in over 3 years, driven largely by first-time buyers. From April, the stamp duty exemption for first-time buyers dropped from £425,000 to £300,000. For other home buyers, the threshold halved to £125,000. These changes have made more buyers liable for tax, this particular tax slowing momentum in a cooling market. Nearly a quarter of homeowners now say stamp duty is the biggest hurdle to moving, with that figure climbing to 40% among younger buyers. That's all for this week's SSA Spotlight. And as always, if you enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed this roundup, please don't forget to like, comment, and share the love.